Page Dr. Ndugu, 911.
How scared should I be?
Her heart is failing.
The evolution of Meredith Grey and Major Grey's Anatomy updates latest news. For nearly 2 decades, fans have watched Meredith Grey transform from a dark and twisty intern into one of television's most iconic surgeons. In this episode, we break down her powerful evolution and the latest Grey's Anatomy headlines you need to know. Meredith's journey began with deep trauma, an emotionally distant mother, a father who walked out, and the early shadows of Alice Grey's Alzheimer's. Medicine became Meredith's escape, and Grey Sloan her sanctuary. Through heartbreak, risk, and resilience, she grew into a surgeon who knows her worth, from the unforgettable Pick Me, Choose Me moment to winning the Harper Avery Award and pioneering Alzheimer's research. Meredith also learned to choose herself. Christina Yang's reminder, "He's not the son you are," carried her through Derek's death and set her on a path of strength, motherhood, and purpose. Today, she leads with clarity, balancing career, family, and the bravery to embrace love again. But Grey's Anatomy continues to evolve too. Fans are calling for another stable couple to join Ben and Bailey, while Joe and Link remain the brightest hope for a healthy, long-term relationship. In other major news, former Grey's star Eric Dane gave an emotional first interview since announcing his ALS diagnosis, sharing hope for the future as he returns for Euphoria Season 3. Hey lovely viewers, welcome to our channel Grey's Anatomy Official. The evolution of Meredith Grey. Every core member of Grey's Anatomy arrived on our screens wildly ambitious, slightly broken, and ready to grow. Over 2 decades of scalpels and second chances, the interns, residents, and attendings of Grey Sloan have evolved right in front of us, fighting to save lives and, just as often, finding ways to save themselves. But to understand just how far they've come, we have to go back to where it all began. In our new series, The Evolution of, we're going to take a moment to trace the essential parts of some of our favorite doctors' stories, starting with, of course, Meredith Grey. From the moment we met Meredith, she was a bundle of contradictions. A brilliant surgical student with a bright future, a core wound so deep that it would take years to fully unpack, and a desire to be loved, even if she couldn't figure out how to let herself be loved. We've watched our title character grow from a conflicted intern into a medical icon. Along the way, Meredith has stumbled, resisted, and occasionally run headfirst into danger. But she has also evolved into someone who knows her worth and chooses joy, which feels like a far cry from where she began all those years ago. And that's why we continue to root for her, not because she's perfect, but because she's proof that even the darkest and twistiest among us can grow toward the light. Her origin story. For a long time, Meredith's story was dictated by generational trauma. As the daughter of Alice Grey, a brilliant surgeon and emotionally distant mother, she was raised to be hardworking while denying her emotional needs. Her family traumas piled up. Her father, Thatcher Grey, walked out when she was 5. She discovered her mother mid-suicide attempt, but was too young to fully grasp the implications. It was only years later that Meredith would begin to understand that her mother had already begun showing signs of early-onset Alzheimer's, a heartbreaking realization that would go on to shape much of her career. She found safety in Grey Sloan Hospital, then Seattle Grace, and escaped through medicine, where her natural instinct and curiosity would allow her to fix in others what she felt like couldn't be fixed in her own family. Standout moments. As with Pick Me, Choose Me, Love Me, the speech that's been seared into our collective memory, Meredith's most spectacular moments of growth have always been when she breaks through the wounds from her past and advocates for herself. When she made it clear to Derek Shepherd in the most poetic way possible that, yes, she really did want their relationship. It felt like a watershed moment for her. But she also came to realize she wasn't defined by her relationship. Just look at Meredith's face when, before departing Seattle for the last time, Christina Young reminded her, "He's not the son you are." Christina's affirmation was especially needed after Derek's untimely death, when Meredith was forced to live without him. She knew she could, but as she told him, she just didn't want to. While taking such a heavy emotional hit might have broken her when she was younger, Meredith moved forward, living life on her own terms and refusing to close off her heart, as bruised as it may have been. Meredith now picks and chooses according to her own desires but no longer avoids the sometimes painful vulnerability of love, especially when it comes to her children and her half-sisters, Lexi Grey and Maggie Pierce. In the operating room, Meredith's career has had a string of standout moments, like during the human pretzel surgery, where, for the first time, she was able to take point and fully identify a surgical plan before her attendings did. If the brilliance of Meredith's potential was ever in any doubt, she went on to take over as the chief of general surgery, win the Harper Avery Award, and lead medical trials with the potential for sweeping advancements in Alzheimer's therapy. But perhaps one of Meredith's greatest moments was when she realized that she didn't have to choose between her family and being good at her job. When her daughter Zola started showing signs of severe anxiety, as well as a need to be challenged academically, Meredith moved her family to Boston, where Zola could attend a school that would be a better fit. Yes, it meant leaving Grace Sloan, Meredith's former safe place. But Meredith was smart enough to realize she was ready for new challenges as well. Some pitfalls. For Meredith, the authority figures in her childhood didn't keep her safe, so as a result, she has had difficulty trusting people as an adult. It has led to fights with her attendings and some ethically questionable behavior, like hiding clinical trial results to protect Adele Weber, getting suspended, and nearly going to prison for medical fraud. If the operating room is her safe place, then it means she has had to be extraordinary in order to secure that safety. It's a line of reasoning that's led to impulsive decisions that have threatened her physical safety, like holding a live bomb in a patient's chest until it could be safely removed, operating at gunpoint, and triaging people after a ferryboat disaster despite being overwhelmed and exhausted, a situation that led to her almost drowning. For a long time, there was no such thing as too much in Meredith's work life, a flaw that has led to both innovation and angst in equal parts. But the future looks bright. Meredith is a self-made woman, creating the family she didn't have, crafting a career that doesn't require her to compromise, and making the conscious effort to move past her own pain. She's grown, evolved, and poured herself back into the community who have supported her, both with expansive research and by nurturing the next generation of surgeons. For many viewers, Meredith Gray's evolution from a dark and twisty intern to a talented surgeon and a loving mother has echoed their own maturation journeys. She's a fully realized, smart, and confident woman who deserves all her wins. Grey's Anatomy needs to give us another positive couple other than Ben and Bailey when it comes to positive marriages. Grey's Anatomy has an issue. The only couple to stand out is Ben and Bailey, giving us a look at what can really be when people communicate. Okay, so there is Weber and Catherine, but do we really pay that much attention to them? The problem with this couple is that they're not on the show together enough to give us a look at what a successful marriage can be. People watching TV need to see that successful relationships exist, and they need something to guide them in making their relationships just as successful. That means Grey's Anatomy needs to do better. There have been times when they've argued, and we know that Ben has slept on the couch now and then, but by the end of these arcs, we see the two communicate and move forward. They are there for each other, and they listen rather than react. Grey's Anatomy has done a wonderful job of showing that good communication can often be all it takes for a marriage to work, and yet it has struggled with every other couple out there. Joe needs to survive. There is one couple that offers hope that marriage can work out. It's all about Link and Joe. Grey's Anatomy star Eric Dane tears up in first interview since announcing ALS diagnosis. Eric Dane, who plays Cal Jacobs on Euphoria, announced in April that he has been diagnosed with ALS. On June 12th, a teaser clip from a forthcoming Good Morning America interview with Diane Sawyer dropped, where Dane emotionally speaks about his diagnosis in his first sit-down interview since revealing the news. "I don't think this is the end of my story," the Grey's Anatomy star said in the clip. Eric Dane, star of Euphoria and Grey's Anatomy, is speaking out in his first interview since receiving a crushing ALS diagnosis earlier this year. Dane fought back tears while speaking to Diane Sawyer on Good Morning America about his amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, diagnosis in April. The disease is also commonly referred to as Lou Gehrig's disease. Dane's full Good Morning America interview is slated to air on June 16th. The couple share 2 children, and Gayhart filed for divorce back in February 2018. She filed documents to have the petition dismissed in March 2025. In a statement to People in April, Dane said of his ALS diagnosis, "I am grateful to have my loving family by my side as we navigate this next chapter." He also requested privacy as they figured out how to move through this next stage of their lives. He also shared that he will reprise his role of Cal Jacobs for Season 3 of Euphoria, which began filming not long after Dane announced his diagnosis. When do new Grey's Anatomy episodes come out? Season 21 premiere date, time, cast. Where to watch? It's once again time to scrub in for another season of Grey's Anatomy. Season 21 of ABC's longest-running medical drama premieres Thursday after its summer hiatus. The episode is expected to pick up after the season 20 finale, where Dr. Meredith Grey, Ellen Pompeo, quit Grey Sloan Memorial Hospital to pursue her Alzheimer's disease research, and several staff were fired, including Amelia Shepard, Katerina Scorsone, Owen Hunt, Kevin McKidd, and Chief of Surgery Teddy Altman, Kim Raver. The new season is the first since firefighter series Station 19, which Grey's frequently crossed over with, ended in May. Jason George, who starred in the series as Ben Warren for 7 seasons, will return in a recurring role to play Miranda Bailey's, Chandra Wilson, beloved husband. Here's what to know about Season 21 of Grey's Anatomy. When does Grey's Anatomy Season 21 premiere? Grey's Anatomy Season 21 returns on Thursday, September 26th at 10 p.m. on ABC. How to watch Grey's Anatomy Season 21. The Season 21 premiere of Grey's Anatomy will air on ABC. Fans can also stream the episode on Hulu Friday morning. The first 20 seasons of the series are available to stream on both Netflix and Hulu. Netflix typically adds new seasons of Grey's Anatomy after a season wraps up, and the same is expected for Season 21. How many episodes of Season 21 will there be? Season 21 of Grey's Anatomy will have 18 episodes, an increase from only 10 episodes in Season 20. Last season was shortened by the actors and writers' strikes last year. The medical drama typically premieres new seasons in the fall and concludes in the spring. Is Meredith Grey back on Grey's Anatomy? Meredith Grey will appear in at least 7 of Season 21's 18 episodes, Deadline reported, citing anonymous sources. In August 2022, Pompeo announced she would have a limited appearance on Season 19 and has continued to be in a small portion of seasons since. However, she continues to serve as an executive producer and offer her staple voiceover narrations in each episode. What year did Grey's Anatomy start? Grey's Anatomy debuted its first episode titled A Hard Day's Night on ABC March 27, 2005. The series pilot chronicled the first day of 5 surgical interns at Seattle Grace Hospital, and the series has since followed the personal and professional lives of staff at the center now named Grey Sloan Memorial Hospital. We occasionally recommend interesting products and services. If you make a purchase by clicking one of the links, we may earn an affiliate fee. USA Today network newsrooms operate independently, and this doesn't influence our coverage. Thanks for watching this video. Please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up.